Ladies and gents, just formally welcome to all of you on this Friday afternoon. Hopefully, all of you got paid by now. I work for myself, so I'll pay myself a little bit later. So we all should have smiles on our dials. It's our 34th Free Friday Lunch webinar. I shared it with my son a couple of minutes ago when I arrived at home, and he said, "Dad, 34," because he assists me with video editing, etc. And I said, "Yeah, 34." We started in September 2023. And I'll keep on doing this as long as I can and as long as I'm economically active. Celebrate my 55th birthday with Marley, my wife, in Paternoster last weekend. And I thought, at 55, you can start drawing on your pension fund. And maybe I should consider it, but I definitely won't do that. And I'm not in that position to do that yet. I've got two boys at varsity who's studying longer than I would like them to. So I'll be with you for the next, God willing, for the next 8 years or so, while we share with you hopefully value-adding content around specifically soft skills, which includes leadership skills. And today's topic, very importantly, is about routines. And why do they matter? Because they do. And as I'm saying that, I'm admitting a couple of more people, and apologies if I am distracted, which I am at this point, and I'm basically going to stop it there. Right, so I run a company called Soldati, Southern African Leadership Development and Training Institute. For those of you who don't know me, we believe in the tagline, growing leaders, impacting results. If we can't do that, we walk away, because that's our passion and our mission. A couple of housekeeping issues just to make sure we're all on the same page. How do we handle the content today? Well, I'm going to share with you a number of things specifically around routines and a little bit of more info in addition to that topic. I would suggest you handle it in the way of identifying where you believe, doing self-reflection, where you can improve. Where can you become better in terms of growing and developing more? None of you would be part of this forum if you didn't believe in personal growth and development. And for that, I commend you. And thank you for that. Please mute unless you ask a question. Preferably at the end, we'll field Q&A. I'll more or less aim for 27 minutes of presentation and 3 minutes of Q&A. Yes, for those of you who are Enneagram practitioners, I am an Enneagram 1. So that's why there's precision around 27 and 3. Please mail me if you want to be added to the distribution list. If you don't get it every month from wherever you get these invitations, and I'll add you to that standard list. Please, 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 that's why it's in capital letters. Please mail me with future topics. It is critical, ladies and gents, that we keep on doing this in the sense that it needs to add value. And at some point, I'm going to run out of topics. Okay, I'm on topic number 34 at this point. I only had one topic given to me in the past, which I've added in. Please, if in the field of soft skills, leadership skills is included in soft skills, intrapersonal and interpersonal skills. Even things like emotional wellness and mental health, I operate in that space as well. Let me know if you want me to tackle a specific topic. This recording will be available towards the end of next week on our website. And just a kind request, I haven't had it of late, but I've had it in the past. Please, pretty please, keep your hands off the keyboard. Please don't write on my screen while I'm presenting, because we are recording it for the benefit of other people as well, and to load it, like I said, on our website. So just if you have missed the previous 33 that we have done, please go to soldati.com. Under resources, insights, you'll find all the previously recorded webinars. And I am distracted because I'm just allowing the last couple of people. It's difficult, even if it's over 5 minutes, to admit people that you know, to not admit them, right? So it's important to note the following. I don't have the magic wand, and this is my disclaimer. But I would like to give you, hopefully, different insights. And in the hope that those insights will pave the way for you living life differently better in relation to today's specific topic around the importance of routines. Please reflect. Take this time to hold up the proverbial mirror and ask yourself, in what way can I improve in relation to today's discussion and topic? More specifically in leadership coaching interventions that I do, I realize that people are not reflecting enough. we don't stand still enough and ask ourselves, but hang on, let me get off the proverbial hamster wheel and look back and ask myself, how can I improve? How can I grow for my own sake and for the sake of everybody around me? And please pay it forward. That's another invitation. The only way we can change this world, or one of the meaningful ways we can change this world, is to pay it forward. To share what I'm sharing with you with others as you identify the need in them. So, the cover page of today said, your daily routine matters. That's the photo on the first page. But it's not only about daily routines, it's about weekly routines, it's about monthly routines, you might even add annual routines. So, what is a routine? A routine, according to the Oxford Online Dictionary, is simply a sequence of actions regularly followed, right? And you might say to me, but Hekkie, that's a habit. You might ask the question, isn't that a habit? No, it's not a habit. Habits are different from routines. Routines are intentional, structured sequence of actions, while habits are automatic, unconscious behaviors. Routines require conscious effort and a deliberate setup, whereas habits often occur without much thought and are triggered by a cue. Let me give you an example. Somebody says something, and I'm unfortunately not that guy anymore, but I used to be a yes but person. It's a habit, it's a bad habit, based on somebody triggering me by saying something to me, and then I say yes but, as opposed to waiting and considering what they are saying to me. Last sentence. Routines can include multiple habits, and the goal of a routine is often to create a consistent and predictable structure which can help in building good habits over time. And of course, we get bad routines and bad habits. Henry de Lubac said, habit and routine have an unbelievable power to waste and destroy. That is true if we have bad habits or bad routines. Like, for example, on a every day after work, every night you go and do that. That's part of your routine. It's deliberate, it's structured. You go to the pub, which may be not the greatest thing also for your family life or for you. And don't get me wrong, I love a craft beer, but you get my point.
Believe it or not, I use my schedule. I mean, I'm a slave to my schedule like so many other people, and I open my schedule and I go, okay, that's my week.
Yeah.
And so I literally build the balance in. I will block off an entire Friday, for example, and though I will work on Fridays, no one is allowed to schedule anything on a Friday. So I've no pre-scheduled anything on a Friday, and that allows me to have creative time, but it allows me to build in that balance. And I've been doing that for years, and it wasn't necessarily a whole Friday. Sometimes it was a few hours. So between these hours and these hours, this hour and this hour, I wouldn't schedule anything, and I was protective of it. So for example, and like we think of things like working out, we think of these things as flexible, or we put in creative time, we think of it as flexible. And somebody says, oh, can I see you at 3 o'clock? And you look in your calendar and, 3 o'clock was your workout, or 3 o'clock was your creative time. And you go, yeah, I can do three. And I say, oh, sorry, I have something else at three. What, do you have any other options?
Yeah.
I am very protective. Now, it's not ideal. Sometimes if it's very important, of course, I can make the shift. But I'm really protective of those blocks that I block out for working out or for creative time. They're not available. They don't have to know why I can't see them.
Sure.
I don't think anybody wants to know I can't meet with you because I'm working out, but sometimes that's what it is. I'm just really protective of those times.
So the question is in relation to that video, who's in charge of our lives? Well, the bottom line is we are. You in charge. I'm in charge. That's why the first chapter of my book that I wrote in self-leadership is exactly that. Take in charge. You can decide which routines you want to put in place and say to yourself, it's not negotiable. Obviously, assuming that it's good routines, right? Not like the one I've mentioned before this slide. And I think the key is the following. We need to only break routines if they are bad. If we realize upon reflection they're not great for me or the people around me. Or break good routines if you feel like spicing things up a bit. You know what? I used to, for the last 10 years, take this route to work. But actually, I want to now and again change my route because just to freshen things up and make life more interesting. The point is that routines are part of a dynamic process. If you don't want to do something anymore, which you realize is not that great, or you've grown new interests, change your routines. Change your routines. But say to yourself, and this is the important part, it's not negotiable. For yourself, to yourself, and to your family members, agree that, listen, these are my routines. It's good for me and it's good for you because it allows me to de-stress, for example. And therefore, I'm going to stick to them. I'll get back to this point a little bit later. So, getting back to the question, why do routines seriously matter? Well, I want to give you two good reasons, and there are many more. The first one is it supports a disciplined life. Now, when I Googled and I kind of knew what the answer would be, what percentage of people don't live a disciplined life? AI went like my dog had just got up when I asked her to go and walk. She goes like this. AI went like this. Because who knows? We can't for certain say what that percentage is. But you know as well as I do that in a lot of cases we falter, we fail when it gets to living a disciplined life. Routines can assist us. Routines and discipline are closely linked because consistent routines are a tool for building self-discipline. Routines automate daily tasks, making them easier to accomplish without relying on motivation because we just, again, pre-negotiated it. We don't need to think about it. It's done, it's structured. While discipline is the commitment to follow through with these routines, even when it's difficult. Essentially, routines provide the framework and structure, while discipline is the will and the commitment to maintain that structure and keep moving towards our goals. You might recall before Prudential became M&G Investments, their famous tagline was, consistency is the only currency that matters. And that to me strikes to the core as far as discipline is concerned. And I share this with you. I had the privilege, and Mia, who's my wingman on these calls, thank you, Mia. Her kids also went to Word School Ben Forster, which is my alma mater in Zanin. And in June, I had the privilege to spend a whole day with the newly elected prefects of my school. It was the fourth year running. And I told them, I will give you the recipe for success on one slide. Boy, oh boy, did they wake up and they started writing. And I firmly believe this. So if we want to achieve success in life, the recipe is simple. And maybe your ears are also starting to perk up now. And let's go for it. Starts with motivation. You can't do anything if you're not motivated. I just came back from a new client where I told the coachee, if you're interested in pursuing this process, if you then tell me. But if you're not, we can have 1,000 coaching sessions. I'm not going to shift you if you don't buy into the concept of personal growth and development also as a leader. With motivation, anything is possible. Secondly, the thing that flows out of motivation is choice. I want to live a healthy life. Therefore, I run and I swim. And I try my best to avoid sugar. As a result of having the motivation to be healthy and fit, I make the choices to go do those things. Even if it's, and some of you might know what I'm talking about because you're my client, even if it's 5:30 on a winter's morning in the middle of nowhere running with a headlamp. Thinking to myself, are there leopards around? Which, by the way, there were leopards around. Fortunately, I'm still alive and I'm here. But from motivation flows choice. And the third thing is simply discipline. If I have the discipline, and here's the kicker, then I will consistently exercise the choices that comes from the motivation. And that gets back to the Prudential tagline. Consistency is the only currency that matters. And discipline we can only achieve if we use things fruitfully, like applying routines. There are a lot of literature and blogs and vlogs and research around the link between discipline and routine. Here's one, medium.com. Discipline execution. It all starts with the right morning routine. This I can attest to. If my morning starts with a cup of coffee, I do some work, I make Marley breakfast, she goes, I take the dog for a walk, and afterwards I go for a run. Then my day is set up. Then I've got that foundation to be able to use that as a launch pad to have an awesome day, productive day. So look at the first paragraph of this blog that Mike Scott wrote. As someone with a very low attention span and a propensity for chasing the shiny object, I'm grateful that I realized a long time ago that what I needed in my life was more structure and discipline, and my morning routine is where it all begins for me. You might agree to this, might resonate. This is the second reason why I believe routines are very important. Because it is part of the critical process of achieving what you want to achieve in life, wherever you want to achieve it. It supports the how to achieve your goals in life. If I look at AI and I draw from the most common credible sources, it tells me that routines are a crucial link to achieving goals because they translate abstract aspirations into concrete, consistent daily actions, build discipline, reduce reliance on fluctuating motivation, and creates the momentum needed for significant long-term progress. You see, in order to achieve our goals, we can use routines as a sustainable crutch, because crutch is normally used in this context in a negative way. But you can use it as a positive, sustainable crutch to allow you or to enable you to achieve your goals in life. And again, there's a lot of literature that supports this. Psychology Today, a blog by Steve Alexander, The Importance of Routines in Pursuit of Your Goals. Hive.com, routines create super achievers, as Thomas Opong wrote. Routine.com, here's why routines are vital to success, and there's many more. In fact, you can't maybe see it's a little bit small, but if you look at what I've tried to highlight in red there, if I Google simply the link between routines and achieving goals, it gives me 386 million hits. Blogs, vlogs, you name it, research, etc. Critical. In order to achieve my goals, I have to use something like routines as an enabler. I want to just remind you, if you are too busy, don't throw routines out of the window. Oh, Hekkie, I'm busy with budgets. Oh, I'm busy with the harvest. Ek is besig met die oes. Some of you this might relate to you. And therefore, I'm chucking all my routines out of the window. Guess what? It's going to take you a very long time, even after your busy period, to get it back. Because that's how it works. Rather, tune down on those routines. I call it sample routines. I've also used this previously in the context of sample habits. But sample routines. I don't go and swim for an hour in preparation for an open water mile event if I don't have the time. If it's crunch time, like it is today in terms of me doing my month end, then I go for half an hour. But the nature of swimming is you've got fins and flippers and all sorts of stuff you have to cart along, and then you still have to drive to the gym. Fortunately, ours is across the road. But the point is, sometimes we do have time constraints, right? Then I might only go for an hour. If I don't have an hour, then I will take my best friend for a walk around the block, which might only take 10 minutes. Which is, by the way, not the dog that I just shown you earlier. Best friend is my wife. And that reminds me, I haven't jotted that down as part of the presentation, but speaking of my wife, if you battle to execute on your routines, find your accountability partner, which typically will be your spouse or your life partner, or boyfriend or girlfriend. Find an accountability partner and it works in a reciprocal way. My wife, when Molly doesn't feel like swimming, I say to her, let's go. It's part of our routines. We know we do it these days, and vice versa. It also works. Ladies and gents, there are many more benefits of using routines productively, effectively. Good routines. Although I only wanted to focus on those two, assisting you in living a disciplined life and assisting you, enabling you to be successful in achieving your life goals, in which area that might be, albeit career or at home or at church or in your hobbies or wherever. And here's the cherry on the cake. This week I finished a emotional wellness and mental health program with a well-known brand, one of the top 10 brands in the country probably, and I don't share my clients' names. And I wanted to link because the whole thing of mental health and emotional wellness is top of mind, and I think it's just becoming more top of mind, right? As we are really finding it challenging to, in this VUCA, this volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world we're operating in, to cope, right? Well, the good news is, in relation to today's discussion, is that the cherry on the cake, as far as the routines are concerned, is that the routines are strongly linked to mental health because they provide structure and predictability, which reduces stress and anxiety and promotes a sense of control. They help by decreasing the number of daily decisions, making it easier to build positive habits like getting enough sleep, exercise, and offering a sense of stability, especially during challenging times. So to me, it sounds like a win-win-win. I want to end off with a quote from John Maxwell around routines, specifically your daily routines, because I suppose that's where it all starts. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to your success is found in your daily routine. On that note, I'm going to end and I'm going to open the floor for Q&A. I want to thank you once again for lending me your ears. Please join us on the 21st of November because last week of November I'm away with my family is the plan. 21st of November, we're going to cover dealing with the largest emotional wellness dilemmas, talking about finding it very challenging to cope with life as it is. If that sounds familiar to you or is a reality in your life, please join us on the 21st of November. Please invite me to your LinkedIn network. I would gladly accept if you want to be on the receiving end of these kind of things in terms of the leadership development and related work that I do. On that note, I'm going to stop sharing. And it's always lovely, as I've admitted people at the beginning, to see lots of pixels on my screen. And thanks for that. Any questions, comments, criticisms, disagreement? I'm happy. I'm 55. I turned 55 last Friday. I'm happy if you disagree with me. I'm way beyond the point where I see it as a negative. In fact, you might convince me to adopt your way of thinking, which I'm also open and happy to do. Open to and happy to do.
Hekkie, this resonated with me very much. My husband and I think the last 10 years, in the morning we have our coffee, we go to gym. If it rains, snow or
Yeah.
in sunny, we have lots of rain.
And very little snow.
Yes. So it starts off our day. It's not you wake up and you wonder, oh, what I'm going to do, read a book or check on my phone what's going on. That's our mindset, not asking the question, am I going? Come back, feed the animals, the geese, the duikers, jy weet van hulle.
Yes.
And then we do meal prep. But the previous night we did meal prep for this day. And if there's leftovers for the day. So we won't come home and say, oh, what are we going to make? Okay, dinner we do, but you have your lunchbox. And it's kind of a familiar tone that it sets to the day.
Yeah.
And it reduces anxiety. I can agree with you there because your day is starting calmly. So whatever, if you leave home on the way to office, you are in a calm state. And ready for what the day might
Mhm.
bring. So I
Mhm.
agree totally. This resonated
Yeah.
with me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that. Much appreciated. And what we're basically saying is, again, gets to the point of routines are pre-negotiated. We don't negotiate it. We've already done that because we know it's the right thing to do. And we take that, always want to say the gap we can potentially take not to do it to our own detriment and to everybody else's detriment. We close that gap because it's already
Yes.
negotiated. So we just do
Yeah.
it. We just follow through, right?
Yeah, and like you and Marley are, if I don't feel like he says, well, I need my gym
Yeah.
wingman,
Yeah.
let's go. And vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mia. Much appreciated. Thanks for that input. Ladies and gents, we've got a minute left. Anything else that anybody wants to share, mention? You don't have to. If that's the case, I would like to say to you, have a great weekend. All the best to you. Look after yourselves. I can't wait to see you on the 21st of November. And all the best and success also in applying and being successful in your using your routines to your advantage and to that of the people around us, around you. Thanks, Ida. I see that wave. Thank you, everybody. Much appreciated. All the best to you. See you soon.